Dina, is that your face in real life?
That's basically
What? When did this happen? Was this part of the plan all along?
basically.
Oh, okay. Have you been teasing this for a long time? I have a giant bucket of herbal tea. Hold on a second. I've got two tea bags. No caffeine for like 13 days.
Yeah, definitely AI VTuber.
Thank you for coming on the Graze. And this is like the one I didn't have to do any research for, obviously. I didn't do any research on how to do a video recording since it took forever for me to get that running. But like I didn't even have to think about talking to anybody. I didn't have to look at any websites. I didn't have to like do any kind of prep because me and you have been working with the group and getting everything launched, which we're going to be talking about today. And that's pretty much all we've been doing. So obviously I was pretty familiar with how it was going to look. So
Yeah.
in chat, I dropped the contract for Llama Locker. It's the first time that I mean, I'm sure that some of you have probably seen it if you like dug around and tracked it down. But like the legit Llama Locker contract that Dina deployed 5 days ago, and that was the one that was written by PKY, right?
PYK, yes.
PYK. Oh, sorry, I messed it up. Speaking of Korean tabs,
Uh,
so that's the one that went through audits, and we finally got it launched. Dina got it launched 5 days ago, and it's up, and there's llamas locked inside of it. So you can take a look at the contract and be able to see which llamas are locked and what activities we've been testing and taking on that. So first off, welcome. And how was like the how much more complicated was like the front end stuff than launching the actual contract itself?
I was less nervous deploying the contract, right? My hands shook a lot less. But as far as the front end, I don't know. It was definitely more complex. It's always going to be more complex, especially when you're playing around with not just one smart contract, not even two, but three, and then a handful of other contracts with the same ABI. So it's however many years 20 tokens would be used as like reward tokens. So it was fun. It was complex, but it was fun.
And you were able to launch that one. You deployed it from your baby llama like ETH address. Did we even get that done? I don't even remember if we did or not. It's been like it was a blur.
Yeah. We got that done. I like locked down the ENS and then I just like transferred it over to that account. And then yeah, deployed it from that. So now little baby llamas deploying stuff. It's
So
pretty cute.
it was very cute. So it's backwards, but it's cute. Like the big llama should be deploying the baby llama. So so the once the contract went live 5 days ago, then Dina made us not talk to her for like 13 hours and said, "Now I work on front end. Bye."
As I just
Oh, as you were sitting here, the site crashed.
no, as I did that, I think I probably crashed.
Oh, so you were like, you had to give us. We had to sit there and wait for for a day before we were able to test anything on the front end. And I was like, when you went to sleep, I was just like thinking, I wonder if I can just deploy this from Etherscan. Like I was like, or like lock it from Etherscan. I was so antsy, I didn't even want to wait for the front end to happen. I was like, if I knew what I was doing, I could like write contract, lock llama, and then you get up and be like, what the hell did you do?
It's a little difficult locking it while the whitelisting is in place because then you need that script to generate the Merkle proof. But once we're not whitelisting anymore, it's going to be the same as like, mm, yeah, it's going to be very simple to do it on Etherscan. Why would you
Well,
want
that
that?
becomes a question though. That's a if the website were to ever go down, if my credit card failed and we didn't pay for our website front end hosting, then then if the website went down, you would obviously be able to interact with the contract and still be able to unlock your llamas easily.
I would just feel immense, immeasurable shame just for allowing that to happen.
Yeah. If the front end goes down and we have no like comms at all about what happened, then the project's dead anyway. So what the hell you want to unlock the thing for? You're worthless JPEGs, as Hoth said in our video, our volcano video. So finally get the locker done. Then the next day, Dina comes in with the front end and just like blows us away. Like right off the bat, everything worked. There was like three or four little glitchy bugs, and three of you were able to lock your llamas from a regular wallet. So a hot wallet, a ledger, and one other test wallet that we used. And then I locked mine from a multi-sig just to try to really screw with Dina and make it as bad as possible because I'm like, I know there's at least four users that have personal multi-sigs that have their llamas on it, and they're going to want to be able to lock from their multi-sig direct. So we're in the middle of testing that. It's a little funky, but I've got a walkthrough on using the institutional wallet to initiate the lock and then switching over to your signer and executing it. And I was able to get it to work, and thank God Dina had everything functioning because there's a lot of possibilities of situations that we could get in that we can't foresee.
It's fun. Yeah. Like a lot is what the advisor just dropped it.
If any of us had a lattice, we would test it.
Who has a lattice here to test it? Funded. So I'm gonna bug you with plenty of questions, Rob. Oh, it should. It should, because it did with the multisig.
Yeah, if it worked with a multi-sig, I wouldn't see a problem with that. Odin, when you initiate transactions, do you do it through Rabby like you would with a ledger connected? Great. So that should be the same workflow as it was for the ledgers and the Trezors.
So then, like, the multisig was just the most complex, like, edge case, I want to say. But if it's different hardware wallets and then everyone's just hooking it up to Rabby or whatever wallet, then yeah, that there should be no issue at all. Yeah, yeah, go on with the seed phrase. Go, go, go.
The other situation that we wanted to test and we made Irate do it was take a llama that's already for sale on OpenSea and Blur, lock them, and then see how that worked, and it worked fine. It was removed from the marketplace, but the big warning that I'm going to plaster on the announcement when we turn off the whitelist in not very long from now is going to be make sure that if you have your llama listed before you stake it, that you unlist it before, because as soon as it comes out of the locker, if you were to remove it from the locker, it would instantly be relisted at the same price that it was listed at before you locked it. We just have a whitelist set up. Oh, go ahead, Dita.
We just set up the whitelist so that way we can gate it to testing all these different edge cases across all of us. So it's one thing, like when I was building it, I would fork mainnet and play God on that local fork. And I would just like unlock it, relock it, but at least to be able to test it when it's on an exchange with a multi-sig, then whitelisting just for that.
So we are at the point now where we've now tested claiming rewards. So I think it's time to show them. Are you ready to do your screen share?
Yeah.
All right. So Dina's going to give you a live look at our current llama situation, what we have locked, and what they look like from the front end.
I keep clicking MetaMask because I was using MetaMask for local dev.
We tested a couple of different reward situations. So we had every reward that you put in that's going to be a claimable reward has to be whitelisted as well. So We manually whitelisted Curve USD, and then we manually whitelisted Savings Curve USD. And obviously, which is what Hoff mentioned in the announcement, is that we're heavily leaning towards Savings Curve USD as being the distribution model. So I wanted to test those two different tokens. Everything's on mainnet, by the way. There's no way for us to like fork it onto an L2 and have that distributed. It'd be a completely different contract. Um, but the cool thing about Savings Curve USD is that it compounds automatically. So if you had a reward that you were waiting to harvest, you're continuing to compound your yield while it's sitting there waiting for you to claim it.
See it?
Okay, I'm going to change that to a bigger screen. So on the recording, I'm able to see your whole screen. Visual on it. Okay, so this is can you start at like the home screen of like where are they going to load into and see the very front? Is this your home or your overview page? Yeah, it is. Okay, this is your overview.
This is your home and overview, but I'm gonna FUD myself for a moment because I like what I was thinking, what I was constantly worrying about was like, who's gonna land on this page first? Is it gonna be someone who's already locked their strategic reserve of llamas? What information do they want to see? Do they really care about like the total llamas locked, or do they care about just their own llamas that are currently locked? I'm gonna FUD myself for a moment, but I'm not. You probably have had it with like the quick CSS fixes.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is the one that like shows up on the front page as soon as you land in. Just total yield claimed across everyone who's staked so far. Treasury value, I have to get it going for the treasury on base, and then just the total amount of llamas locked, even though I have just one here. Um, where do you even start? I want to go to rewards. I have the rewards here. Figured table would be good. Claimable, historic claimable, just pulling in the price of all that in USD. Obviously, I have one llama locked, so now you see what I meant before about fudding my own design, because it's like, what do I want to show? What's important to show at first without overwhelming people? And then with locking, you choose to lock, you can unlock. This one's gonna give me an error if I try to do that because it's not time for that yet. But the
Do
second
it.
it's time to, it's gonna try. It's gonna break.
I want to see the error.
No, it's actually no. You see, I'm smart. I don't select it. That's right. I have a filter on top of it. The same one here. You can just lock any.
Don't lock anything. No, don't lock them. I just want you to claim. I don't want to restart we're already like 6 days in to the countdown on ours coming off. So there we go. Nice. I want to see the rejection uh, image.
It is actually happening. Yeah.
Okay, so go ahead and claim your rewards so we can see the how that works of what you claim of how the workflow of just claiming. I mean, everybody who's in this chat. Oh,
Oh,
okay.
sure.
I lost the Archer gif. I lost the like the bottom part that has a text on it. But you're getting a preview of it.
Yeah. That's it. All this is just one button to click and that's it.
Okay. So the plan is you don't have to claim until you want to, until it's worth it. I mean, obviously gas is not going to stay at one for eternity. Maybe it will, I don't know. But like we have to assume that at some point it's going to actually cost something to do transactions on ETH again if we ever, get out of this bear market, bull market, bear market. So, a lot of times you're going to want to wait for there to be a few $100 before you're going to go spend $10 or $8 claiming. Um, So the whole idea of having your savings curve is that it's going to be able to sit there and compound for you while you're waiting to claim it. Go to Locker, and then are you able to start a lock transaction and then cancel it?
See, my least favorite thing is writing the messaging for transactions. Yeah, I can cancel it.
It looks great. And okay, so now go back to overview, and then we'll be able to see your total claimed.
Yes. And it just updates like that.
So this is like ready. I mean, like it. Let me close the full screen and go back to you if I can figure out how to do it. That should be fun.
No,
So
wonderful. Just like that. Mm-hmm.
front end ready, contract ready.
Yeah.
Technically, if in 22 days we could just remove the whitelist and open it and let people
Yeah.
stake. And it's ready to roll. The reason that we're waiting 22 days is because I want to test all of the unlock situations. So our goal is that we wait 22 days. We do a bunch of let Dina do a bunch of fine tuning and testing in between while they're locked. And then as they come off one by one, we're going to try to break it every step of the way, right? Like I'm going to try to remove my llama, not extend the lock. I'm gonna let mine sit in the multi-sig for. So what happened? What's the unlock window like? So what? How does that work at the end of the 30 days? What is the steps that you have to go through to get unlocked or continue locking?
The way action works, it's theoretically instantaneous, right? That unlocking window, but it's the exact moment that the duration from when it was locked at to right now is divisible by 28, right? And once you get to that number, once it's divisible by 28, you get 7 days. You get 7 days to unlock it. And if you don't unlock it in that 7 days, you're not going to be able to call that function again. So that's all that's happening with just locking in the first place. It just checks, like, is it ready to be unlocked? Not ready to be unlocked. You're stuck. You messed up. You're gonna have to wait another 28 days to unlock it. So that's why, like, I have it flashing. You'll see, like, once we get to that point, it'll start flashing to let you know that, like, you can unlock it now. But then also, it's iffy depending on like who's really okay with just downloading random files from a Web3 dApp. Like you'll be able to get like a keep tabs are allowed for people to keep tabs on these things so much, but it's just so perfect.
It's really exciting, and we're trucking right along right here on this thing, and I'm excited to test the stuff at the end, obviously. So 28 days, 7 day window, 28 days, 7 day window. So I would like to get to, you know, I think really before we were to open it, we would need to get through these 22 days and then seven. Because I before we were to unlock to remove the whitelist and open it, I would say that we need to make sure that with at least one of the llamas, let it auto extend, right? And test that function.
Yes. The math for that was complex. On the smart contract, it's like 4 lines of logic on the front end. I met my maker. I met it like you would try to do the math for it, and then once you hit that point where it's like you're into the next locking phase, the next epoch, the next 28 days, timer should be saying 28 days, but instead it's subtracting the unlocking window from that. So
So on your local fork that you were doing, you were able to extend out, speed time up, and
Yeah.
like fast forward to the end of the 28 days and then be able to test that 7-day window.
Yes. Yeah.
And then obviously, dumb question, but while you're in the 7-day window, you continue to accrue the yield.
Yes. Yeah. Because all it is with accruing the yield, the second you lock your llama, you're now on this. Can I say guess list? Guess list, sure. You just have this many shares of any of the yield distributed. None of that's going to change as long as you don't unlock your llama. So even if you're in that unlocking window, you don't do anything, you're fine. It's just the moment you do unlock, that's it. That amount of shares will change to reflect that.
So a couple of more testing things at the end, live testing, and then like another thing that we'll do during that 7-day window is we'll drop in some more yield and then do another yield distribution test. Inside of that, like I want to claim yield at every single step of this of the contract, right? Like so if it's 3 steps, I want to try it at all 3, and just try to get any error that we possibly can. And then we're also going to test the irate listed llama that's listed on Blur and OpenSea, or remove it from lock, right, or pull it out of the contract and see if that actually does behave like we think it's going to do, which is automatically relisted back on those exchanges. Because the nightmare situation for me is that you have a bunch of llamas listed at 2 ETH, you lock them all, and then 4 months later you pull them back out and you don't even think about it, and you have that existing listing for 6 months and they're at 20 ETH and they just insta sell. These are real numbers, by the way. I didn't just make those numbers up.
That would suck.
Yeah, it's happened before on a chain and a project that Irate and I will never mention the name of again. It's like the Voldemort of projects that we've been involved in over the years. Um, okay, so where, what do you need from everybody else? Do you need like screenshots of the lattice stuff, screenshots of the treasure, anything that the llamas can help you with that you need, any kind of anything that you can think of that you might need for them to think up, other than like what edge cases can you guys think of that we're going to break and not think about?
Yeah. I'm worried about the lattice edge case. I don't really think of it like that. I mean, it's a ledger thing. Similar to a ledger thing. I'm just a girl. I click buttons on hardware wallets. I don't know.
Just don't even read it. Just click. Make this go away. Whatever. Every time that it gives you that like you can double click to skip, instantly skip and just sign it.
Exactly. I only care that my ledger is purple.
Oh, there's no chance of us being able to see that, right? Good, good. Makes me feel a lot better. Okay, totally safe. What about that magical device that you have to use to be able to get into GitHub? It's like you have to use a retina scan and then some kind of a card. All of your like ridiculous OPSEC.
My OPSEC in a nutshell is really funny. Um, I kind of just forget where I put things. I
Oh,
kind of hide them. So I've had to get air tags for things so I don't forget them again. Happened before, right? So now, no joke, there's one air tag tracker that people will see, like I have it on Find My Items, and they're like, "What was this for?" And I'm like, "It's a long story, but I'm leaving it here because it's actually funny and it like makes people look at it just like, what the fuck did she do?"
I can
There's
just
no story behind it.
I can just imagine you having like a super glued an AirTag to your ledger.
Yeah, I would do that. That I would do. But
Okay.
yeah, I just forgot where I put these things. Okay, fine, I'll deal with it.
Okay, on the front end of like the main website, is that gonna have is the site that you have shared right now gonna be like a subdomain or a subpage of the main site? So like when you go to the main site now, what do you see?
Uh, what to go on like the llamas.com, the
Yeah,
llamas.io?
it's regular Llamas
Yeah,
IO.
io, the regular landing page, and then this is gonna be locker dot thellamas.io,
Okay,
unless we can come up with a funnier sounding subdomain. But yes,
something llama themed.
yeah,
Okay. And then obviously they're like this is not going to be the front page of the entire project. This is going to be where you go after you buy your llama.
yeah, pretty much. I'm thinking of even just taking this information right here, putting it onto the landing page, and then yeah, yeah. But this is gonna be locker, or lockthellamas.io probably. Has to like be something memorable.
Well, it looks great and it's exciting to be at this point and have, but I feel like we have like 22 days to breathe. But after that, then the shit hits the fan again on testing and excited to get this out in the wild and get it done and ready and locked and let people get their llamas locked and start getting some yield. And it's really exciting. And thank you for spending all the time that you have on it and getting this done.
Perhaps we can have a contest for the subdomain and more gifts.
Let me in, Llama.io.
Let me out.
Well, I would always like search for like jump to something woolish or something about wool or baby llama. But don't nobody puts llama in a cage. Lock them in the pen.
The wealth of me. Pasture. I like pasture.llamas.
Good question from DA about the recognizing of the holdings inside the contract. So we've discussed this. We've talked about snapshots. Where are you right now on like how do you think that we work through that? How does everybody else who has stuff in locking contracts that still allows snapshots? How do they do it?
I'm thinking I want to make a script, uh, and throw it on GitHub. But yeah, we're gonna have to like have a script basically. It's not gonna be like a simple snapshot, but it's gonna be one where like you just determine what date you want someone to be holding up until, and then you would be able to return whether or not it's in the locker or it's actually held. Um, so yeah, that's how that would work. But as far as it's showing your PFP, there was a way that I somebody asked it a few weeks ago, I think. It's going to be an extra contract call to the Llama Locker contract. Just to see get locks by owner, I think. So yeah, I can pull that up and I can get it for anybody else that needs it. But it's just an extra contract call.
So right now, blockmates. Who else had that function where you llama shows up on as your PFP?
On the Air Force.
Llama Air Force. Okay, so they would have to add in an extra step to go search your ownership inside of the llama locker and then display that llama.
Yeah,
Also, Aladdin has
yeah,
it. Okay, so it's just going to be as simple as you talking to them.
yeah. So it's also like the way that I had it up here, when I was working on that local fork. It was instant. It knew right away. I locked every single one of them, and no matter what, it knew to pick up the first llama that I owned. So, yeah,
So that one's simple. That's a front end thing, but the snapshot's a whole different ballgame.
yes. Because now we're dealing with like timestamps. And it's one thing to look at how long someone had it. You just like, yeah, it's one thing to look at how long someone had it. It's another thing to have like the timestamp that they locked it at and then do the math from that just to determine if it
Yeah,
matches.
that's a complicated call. I mean, I'm sure it's doable, but like you would think that it would affect airdrops, for example. Like airdrops are going to be the most lazy, easiest thing that you could ever snapshot that you could ever get, right? Like they're not going to go dig through a smart contract that has stuff locked in it to try to whitelist you for an airdrop.
Yeah, you know why I almost didn't get points? I think had low points because I didn't have an ETH balance on the wallet that I had Mog on.
And that was a part of that was part of the reason that you were.
Yes. But they fixed it. It was okay. That was the reason why I didn't get picked up because I had no ETH on that wallet. I just bought Mog and left no ETH there. That was it.
So the long answer is easy on the PFPs, bigger workaround for snapshots. A lot of the people who have talked to us that have wanted to get the llamas whitelisted for whatever, for NFT drops, airdrops, special entrance into dApps, they've asked us for a list. So the developers have come to us and said, I need a snapshot of your holders. And so far, I haven't had to do that. All I do is just give them the llama address, and they just run the snapshot themselves. I'm like, anybody who owns this. This adds an extra step to that for us when we're talking to other projects. Is here's our list manually that we use a script to generate, and it's all the people who have llamas that are unlocked and all the people who have llamas that are locked.
Yes. Yeah. We would be able to either give that list or just tell people to run it if they'd like. So that way they can have like their own dates that they want to plug in. And that would just be mainly playing around with like the timestamps you get from whichever llamas you locked at whatever time.
Awesome, that's a great one.
Mhm.
Any other questions other than I tried to read through chat and there's like 1,000 things about nothing but no questions. So I'm gonna get ready to release Dina here. So if anybody has anything they want her to say, this will be the last time that she ever appears on camera. This is your chance. Uh,
No, 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 that sounds ominous.
I'm actually right next door, and you're going in a van. The nice thing about when you get kidnapped and they try to extract information from you is that you can't remember where the stuff is. Like, where is your ledger? I honestly don't know.
No. Good luck. It's like somewhere under my floor drawer, but
All right, great job getting it launched and exciting to get moving. And we'll keep you guys updated on where we are at the end of the 22 days. And that was all for our live stuff that you wanted to do, right? You wanted to do the claim on the rewards, and that was all we were going to do. We weren't going to lock one because I don't want to extend out another 7 days on top. Right.
we don't.
So it's just clean, like at the end, on the day that we remove the whitelist, it's empty, and then we just roll. Everybody starts on the same day, just for the sake of the holders. So
Yeah.
you don't get to front run them on $3 worth of Curve USD.
No, but even then, like if someone has more llamas than I lock, they would easily get more shares.
Yeah, it's easy. Just go buy more llamas.
It's so simple. It's like napkin math on a napkin. Got it, kids. There we go.
All right, thank you. I'm going to end the recording. Appreciate it.